Cryptids. What are they? Who are they? And where are they? That is the question that we'll aim to answer, or at least shed light on, in this documentary. For centuries, stories have been whispered through the winds, tales of creatures lurking in the unknown, beasts that defy science, that exist only in shadow, or do they? These are cryptids, mysterious beings said to walk the line between myth and reality. From the towering figure of the Mothman to the chilling wails of the Wendigo, every culture has its own legends, its own warnings. But are these just stories, or could something really be hiding in the darkness? But as mysterious and monstrous as they all are, we will be focusing solely on those that dwell in the dark depths of England. So what's your name?
My name is Jasper Edgar. I'm from New Zealand, yeah, but I live here in Grasmere actually.
Ah, nice. How long have you lived here for?
A year and a half or something.
Do you believe in like the supernatural, paranormal, anything like that?
Hard to say. I think, yeah, I guess I would say no.
Hi, I'm Will. What's your name?
Nick.
Alright, nice to meet you, man. So how long have you lived in Windermere?
I live in Liverpool on a holiday.
Do you believe in the supernatural, paranormal, anything like that along those lines?
What's it called? Sort of 50-50, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I've had unexplained moments and things like that in my life and things like that. But yeah, so yeah, I do.
Fair enough. Can you talk more about those unexplained moments?
My dad used to live in a old sort of like house from the 18 whatevers. And I can remember waking up when I was about 14 and there was like a ball of light floating around in the house, in the bedroom that was in the bedroom, and it was always stuck with me.
Do you yourself believe in it? Like if it could be real, even if you've not encountered anything?
I would say it is like enticing, like I want to, but I just don't have any reason to believe it and stuff like that.
Random bonus question actually, because you're from New Zealand, is there anything out there that you've heard of, or like folklore stories?
There's a few, like I feel like wherever you go there's like usually a big cat, rumours of like a big cat in the South Island, and also moose. I think there used to be a lot of moose, but then they got killed.
Mine's Jim and Pauline.
Pauline, right, nice to meet you. So how long have you lived in Windermere, if you do?
We're only visiting, we're here for a week.
Do you like it so far?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah,
Come on.
Do you guys believe in the supernatural, paranormal, anything along those lines?
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
I don't.
Fair enough. Any experiences, stories of anyone you know that have encountered these sort of things, or like anything along those lines?
I saw a UFO when I was 13.
Can you go any more into that?
It was only brief, it wasn't anything. I was stood on my front doorstep looking over somebody's shoulder and looked up, it was like an luminous green thing. I don't think the world is what we've been brought up to believe it is anymore, neither.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I, as you said earlier, there are things definitely hidden from us. Like, I mean, we have governments, so of course there's going to be stuff like that. Know anyone else who's encountered these sort of things?
Well, my mum told me once, when she was quite young, she was walking through a cemetery and they could, her and a friend, they could hear this like, not so nice noise, like a howling type of noise, and when they followed where the noise was coming from, it was a sunken grave.
Yeah.
Well, my name's Deborah Hatswell, and some people call me a paranormal investigator, others say cryptid investigator. I tend to investigate cases of the strange and the unexplained that ordinary people have in the UK. When I was 15, way back in the olden days, in 1982, I was my last year of school. It was a lovely day. It was like May, really sunny, nothing out of the ordinary. And as I was going back to school after lunch, I decided I wasn't going in. And the parks it's like we'd sneak in there, and you could see out, but you couldn't see in. And we would just lay down, talking and laughing, nothing out of the ordinary at all. And I noticed a movement in the greenery, and as I looked, I thought it was going to be a teacher. I thought we were in big trouble. And I looked, and this thing just leant out of the bushes. It was like, it went like that, and looked at me like I'm looking at you now. And it looked like a man and an ape that had been pushed together in some way, like a caveman or a Neanderthal. Completely impossible, absolutely impossible. hair covered, big jaw, big forehead, like normal teeth and mouth. And I only looked at him for seconds, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like a long in-depth anything. I was so frightened. I was up and running. And I looked back to see if he was going to come and get me, I'll be honest. And he went back in like that. And he was gone. Around the Earth, there is an Earth grid, and it's like a magnetic energy grid. And we call them ley lines. Then the UK has one that starts at the bottom and runs right up to the top. And there are many of them. They spread out across the land. And I started looking at the ancient sites like Stonehenge. Anywhere there's a standing stone or a menhir, and they're within about a mile or two that you will find a cryptid report, whether that be a dogman-like creature or a Bigfoot or something they can't explain.
Ley lines are straight alignments drawn between various historic structures, prehistoric sites and prominent landmarks. The idea was developed in 20th century Europe, with ley line believers arguing that these alignments were recognised by ancient societies and deliberately erected structures along them. Since the 1960s, members of the Earth's Mysteries movement and other historic traditions have commonly believed that such ley lines demonstrate Earth's energies and serve as guides for alien spacecrafts. Archaeologists and scientists regard ley lines as an example of pseudo-archaeology and pseudo-science.
I didn't believe. I didn't know about cryptids before I saw it. So finding other people that had seen it was just mind-blowing to me, because it was like, oh, thank God for that, I'm not mad. So people, ordinary men driving the road, lorry drivers, soldiers, I take them policemen, reports from policemen, doctors, solicitors, nurses. There's no typical witness, but the description of the creatures that they give is the same. So we got a 70-year-old man in Bedfordshire, 78, on his deathbed. Never had a strange experience in his life. 3 o'clock in the morning, sees a werewolf at his window.
So I heard scratch, scratch, and I looked up, and I saw what looked like a paw. It was not a hand, but it was shaped differently to a paw, but it certainly wasn't a human hand.
He was absolutely terrified. By 5 o'clock in the morning, his carer had found me and had rung me and said, Debbie, he's hysterical. He's absolutely hysterical. So I spoke to him on the phone. Didn't know anything about it. I was going in blind. And I asked him to describe it to me. He said it looked like the werewolf that was in a film when he was a little boy.
I can see it now. The most important thing about it was that its eyes never took its eyes off me at all. It looked straight into my eye, and I can see them there, dead, dark, ruby black centres.
Snout, teeth, the whole 9 yards. And he said it knocked on the window at him. And he wanted to know if it was going to come and get him. And I thought, why would it happen like that? Nothing's happened there for like 80 years. You've got to be a bit sceptical. So I said to him, what was different about that day? And he said, normally he's upstairs in bed. And he was so ill that the carers had brought him downstairs. That's the first time he'd ever slept in the front room. So I said, Fred, can I ask you a question? Are your parents Irish? And he went, yeah, they are, Deborah. My parents came here from Ireland. So I said to him, have you been thinking about your death? And he went, yeah, I've had the solicitors in, I'm putting everything into order. And I said to him, there's a certain thing and it's called the Irish death wolf. And people see it in a terrifying way. But the Irish believe it's a hound that comes to walk you safely to your end. So after I finished talking to him, I spoke to his full-time carer and I said, I don't know how to put this into words. And he went, he's going to pass into Deb. And I said, yeah, he is. He is. He's not got long left. That was the 8th of September and he died on the 3rd of January.
As mists roll over the hills and forests, whispers forgotten secrets, we are left with more questions than answers. The Black Shuck, the Owlman and the Beast of Bobington Moor remain woven into the land's folklore, warnings, mysteries or glimpses of something beyond understanding. Science seeks explanations, yet believers persist, and so do the stories. Perhaps on one lonely road or a moonlit moor, you too will glimpse a shadow hear an eerie cry, or feel unseen eyes watching. When that moment comes, you will dismiss it or dare to wonder what truly walks among us.